Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this car didn't disappear for long, did it? This is the Alpine A220 race car in its glitch form, and it is currently back in Gran Turismo 7. Now I've seen a lot of people doing different builds saying you can't put intercoolers and such on. However, there's a very easy workaround. So if you do actually have the previous build, you only have to change the I believe it's the downforce levels, and it will go under 600 pp. So people doing the longer way around, yeah, you don't actually need to do that. So it's very simple and very easy to change. But before we get into the video, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor for today's video, the Controller People. For all your controller needs, head over to the link in the description. They provide all sorts of different controllers, from customs to more pro controllers. So massive thanks to them for sponsoring this video. So I'm just going to say it once again before we jump in, this isn't an entirely new build. I know a lot of people only have one of this car, and when you have perma mods on, you actually cannot remove them. So the best way to do this is actually just get that original build that you had from the previous update and literally just change the downforce settings. I will go through the like full setup for those that may have not done it before, but for those that already have the build that's kind of changed its PP, you will see just how simple it is to actually, you know, bring it back down. So let's get straight into the video and I'll walk you through absolutely everything. Okay, so this is the livery we're using. You can go ahead and find it by just looking for liveries for the Alpine, really. This will ensure you actually have everything on the car that you need for this to work. You have to run these standard tyres with their standard offset and size. So what you'll see here is you go into standard wheels. This is in case you do have a different livery. Just go ahead, put the standards on, ensure they're 15-inch, and ensure sort of the width and the offset are just set to standard, or else this will not work. Okay, so this is just a quick look at the sheet. We're going to be running the racing soft tyres, as you can see, and if you look at this sheet closely, you'll realise that nothing has actually changed at all from the previous build, apart from the downforce at the front and rear. That is all you need to change if you do still have the old build. And just to note, as the suspension and differential and such do not affect performance points, now you can actually change them to your heart's content and get the perfect kind of handling and feeling for the car. After doing this, you know, basic tuning sheet, I did actually lower the body height, and it did give me a lot more grip and allowed me to get some faster lap times in. So as you're going to see, it's all unchanged, but I will talk you through it anyway. So it's 115, 120 for the body height, anti-roll bars 5 on both, damping ratio compression is 30 on both, expansions 40 on both, natural frequencies 4.0 on both, and camber angle is 1.5 and 2.0. Toe angle is outwards at 0.10 and toe angle is inwards at 0.30. Differential is 5, 29 and 5. As you can see, we've got the fully customizable racing transmission equipped. We've got that set to 330. Then we have the fully customizable ECU, no ballast on this one, and the output's 100. Downforce, this is the bit you will need to change for it to go under 600. 134 at the front. That is a must if you have the original sheet. Like I said, as soon as you put these kind of measurements on, it will dip straight under 600 and you can customize from there. So I have actually got full output, and obviously you can see it's 125 at the back. We've got the medium RPM turbocharger, the racing intercooler, so you can keep it on for this one, and we do have the racing crankshaft installed. As you can see, very easy and very basic. So this is for people that may have not done it. All you need to do is go and get that old build up. It will shoot up to like 700 if you've not double checked it since the update 1.23, I believe. And then all you need to do is just edit the downforce, and it should completely, you know, go under 600. And then feel free to just play around from there. You can get maximum power output. You don't need ballast or anything like that, and you can actually play around with the suspension as much as you want. So with all that being said, let's go and show you the event that we're going to be using this for. Most people will know it. However, there's a few new players to the game that may not know it as of yet, and then I'll get into a quick overview of the strategy. So for those that may not know, you're going to head into Asia, then you're going to head over to the Tokyo Expressway, and you're going to go to the World Touring Car 600. So just go ahead and enter that one. So with all the kind of basic info out the way, let's get into the strategy. Now, if you did it last time, your strategy has not changed, so you can at this point just go and do it. Obviously, if you haven't ever done this before, this is the kind of, you know, simple strategy guide. What I'll do is I'll take you through my opening lap. I will also show you my fastest lap as well as when to pit, and that will be pretty much it. I'm not going to play the whole run through or anything like that. It's absolutely pointless. So what I recommend on these start is slipstreaming and running it fuel mix 1. It is going to be slippy. You may end up taking damage, maybe even a penalty. At that point you can just quickly restart. Once you get to the first corner, you want to brake very, very early in this car, especially early on, just like with most cars at Tokyo. When it's wet and you're running dry tyres, it's not the best feeling. Essentially all you're doing at this part of the race, or sorry, this stage of the race, is just surviving. So put your fuel mix, put your power down to 3. So on the fuel mix, you just want it to say number 3. This will stop the rear tyres spinning up too much. In terms of assist for this build, it is completely up to you. I do like to basically run full assist to begin with, to sort of survive the wet weather part. Then around about lap 4, I'll start just taking them off. And this will allow you to have full control over the car. So as you can see, we're just going to cruise around in fuel mix 3. You may drop a few positions, don't worry about it. Honestly, the opening lap in most of these glitch builds are never great. However, once lap 2 comes, you will notice that the track's much drier. The car's much easier to control. So you shouldn't really have an issue. Don't kind of panic if you do start dropping positions. It's just pretty much always like that. The only ones that never really do that were the Tomahawk and the Red Bull X 2014. When they were a thing, sadly they are currently not. However, I do have a bunch of people trying to look around for me, as well as myself, to try and get that Tomahawk working again. But it is nice to see the Alpine return, which is, most people's favourite, especially considering it's basically not changed. In fact, it's probably improved since the last version, because we can actually play around with suspension settings and just kind of suit the car to our handling styles. It's all going to be different for everyone, so that's why I just kind of give you the basic overview. Feel free to kind of play around at your heart's content, because it is not a glitch, by the way, guys. A lot of people are saying, oh yeah, they've glitched the suspension, it doesn't affect PP. That is on purpose. So at this point I feel like the Alpine's actually going to be here to stay, because there's not much more they can really take off without making the whole performance point system absolutely pointless, which currently at this point it pretty much is. So once you survive at lap 1, you've pretty much done the hard work at that point. Now it's going to get much easier. Once you dip onto lap 4, the track is pretty much dry at this point, so you will notice your lap times will absolutely begin to plummet. The car will become a much more controllable beast, so you don't have to worry about slipping and sliding and such, and you're pretty much going to be just watching your lap times drop. Now if you do watch the tyre wear, the sauce will actually last to around about lap 6, lap 7. It's completely up to you when you want to pit. This is a 2-stop strategy, just like previously, because for some reason when you're pitting in again and you go on another pair of softs, they will wear out much faster than the ones that you originally had on. So in terms of your fuel mix and stuff, just boost it up to 1, run max power now, because you don't need to worry about kind of nerfing the power to reduce wheel spin, and just basically drive the car to your heart's content. Feel free to take your assists off at this point. The car should handle absolutely fine with pretty much nothing on at this point. Don't forget to short shift around, because the car does seem to react very well, especially out on the exit of corners when you short shift out of them. So at the end of lap 7, as you can see here, I'm going to box him for the first time. Now what you're going to do here is put a new set of soft tyres on, and you're going to fuel the car to pretty much full. You can go under, but for me personally, I like to just fill it to the max and then just run max power for the end, for the rest of the race. I will have to pit one more time, however it's going to be a much shorter pit stop the second time around. So this is essentially going to be the, I guess, longer pit stop of the two by quite a margin. At least with the next pit stop, we're only putting the tyres on, and that only takes literally around about 10 seconds, to be honest, in total, from getting in the pits to getting back out. So at this point, just carry on running it in fuel mix 1 and sprint your way around the track. You should not have any issues with the AI. As you can see, we've already put a 2-minute 1 in. However, our lap time will improve much more than that, so I will take you through my fastest lap. This is going on to lap 9, so we've just done our pit stops. We're on pretty much fresh tyres at this point. As you can see, the wear is a lot more than it used to be. Than it was in terms of your first set of soft tyres. This is what's going to cause us to do a second pit stop. You can try and hang it out, however you will notice they will just drop off a cliff last off. So as you can see, we're going to go down into second gear and then quite quickly short shift up to third gear. This will allow the car to regain its grip. Then we're going to go back down to second, back up to third, and again the car's going to regain its grip. Now you just want to go full throttle all the way to this corner here, and you're going to see a lot of this car really is, you know, to do with throttle control. We're going to then short shift back up. Then we're going to go full pelt round here, drop down to fourth, back up to fifth again to just regain that grip, back to fourth, back up to third, and then just as you're about to sort of go around the right hander, you want to shift up. This will allow the car to, you know, like I said, get its full grip and allow you a really good run out of that corner. And that's essentially how you want to be driving this car. It's really kind of simple and easy to drive. Once you start getting in that flow of it, once the track starts drying out, you'll realize your lap times will be very fast and very consistent. There is a moment there on lap 5, as you can see, where I did actually get a penalty, so that did lose me a bunch of time, especially in comparison to the other lap time. So overall we could have had a bit of a shorter time, but you know, it just kind of is what it is. The penalties at Tokyo are pretty ridiculous. Now around here you're going to get it into second. You do not need to go to first. Sometimes that will twitch the rear end out, and you can see with the kind of new suspension changes I've actually got by lowering the height of the car, we're actually much, you know, we're able to get through that corner much easier. And then it's just a case of powering yourself all the way down to the line, and then essentially it's, you know, job done at that point. We're going to see a very quick lap time here from the Alpine, which is a 156.981, and I do feel like there is much more potential in this car. I think a 155 is probably quite easily possible. So that is my fastest lap of this run. Lap 10, you're going to quickly just dip in one more time and put a set of new soft tyres on. This will last you to the end. As you can see, they've pretty much dropped off very quickly this time around. You don't need to fuel the car, so just press do not refuel, put the tyres on, and away you go. And then it's essentially just job done at that point. You want to just keep going, sprint yourself to the finish line, and you'll have this done in absolutely no time at all. So as you can see, leaving the pits, not messing around with the fuel or anything since lap 4, so it's all good to go. Then we're just going to come around the last few corners and finish up. I did get caught in a bit of traffic in the last few laps, which was a bit of a pain, but it kind of is what it is. You do end up getting a lot of traffic when you run these glitch kind of builds at Tokyo, but it, you know, you get used to it eventually, and eventually you should learn the kind of lines they take and such. Sometimes they, you know, choose to ignore the blue flags, but it kind of is what it is. So first place, nice and easy. So overall we did this in 25:47.761. I very much predict that is, you know, considering this is my first run in a long time in the Alpine, I'll probably predict that it's very easy to get in the, you know, very low 25 minutes. We did a fastest lap on lap 9 of a 156.981, like I've shown you guys, and then within that time you are going to come away with 825,000 credits. And yeah, super simple, pretty much unchanged from the previous build. So that's going to be it for today's video. Sorry I kind of had to ramble on a bit, especially early on. It's just to kind of explain how this build works. I will put a troubleshooting guide in for people that, you know, kind of, I guess, didn't listen too much, because I try and explain everything the best I can. Mostly if you cannot get it this low, it's because you haven't got the 15-inch tires on. That seems to be the main problem with people trying to get this build down. So it is, you know, fairly simple to do, especially if you've got the previous build. I'd probably recommend doing this one than pretty much doing a whole new build like a lot of people are currently. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and a big shout out to my sponsor, the Controller People. Don't forget to check that link out. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, turn those notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers guys, peace.